It started like a normal political day in Abuja, calm, busy, and full of the usual government activities. But that calm moment didn't last long. Before the end of the day, the former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, made a statement that immediately drew attention from every corner of the country. His words were bold, direct, and heavy with meaning. He had decided to speak about one issue that many political figures have continued to avoid: the continuous detention of Nnamdi Kanu. In his address, Okorocha said clearly that it was time for the federal government to do what is right and release Nnamdi Kanu. According to him, no matter what anyone thinks or feels, the issue has gone beyond politics. It has become a matter of peace, unity, and national healing. He said the Southeast has been restless for years, and that this restlessness can never be calmed by force, fear, or silence. The only true path to peace, he said, is through justice and dialogue. Okorocha's tone carried deep concern for the future of the country. He reminded everyone that Nigeria cannot grow when one part of the nation feels excluded, humiliated, or constantly under suspicion. He said the continued detention of Kanu has done more harm than good, and that the time has come for the government to show courage and compassion. He added that if there's any single most important thing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can do today for the Igbo people and for the unity of the country, it should be the release of Nnamdi Kanu. That, he said, would mark a new beginning for peace, trust, and cooperation. He explained that leadership is not just about building bridges, constructing highways, or signing projects. Leadership, he said, is about building understanding and healing broken relationships. According to Okorocha, the country has already gone through enough pain and division. Every region is crying for justice in one way or another, and no president can unite the people by ignoring their deepest wounds. He said the Southeast is not asking for special treatment, but for fairness and recognition. You cannot preach peace to a people who feel unheard, he said firmly. The true strength of Nigeria lies in its ability to treat all regions equally. He also talked about the human side of the whole situation. He said the families that have lost their loved ones in the tension across the Southeast deserve closure and healing. He said releasing Nnamdi Kanu will not only help restore calm, but also send a clear message that the government values the life and future of every Nigerian, regardless of tribe or belief. Okorocha made it clear that his message was not about taking sides, but about doing what is right for the future of the country. He said no matter what anyone thinks about Nnamdi Kanu, the reality is that his continued detention has become a symbol of pain for the Southeast. He said people have suffered enough, and that peace cannot come by ignoring what fuels their anger. He explained that many young people in the Southeast have lost trust in the government because of this issue. He said that if the president truly wants to build a united Nigeria, he must start by showing empathy and fairness. You don't build peace by force, Okorocha said. You build peace by understanding where the pain is and doing something about it. He also reminded the government that history will not forget how leaders handle moments like this. He said no matter how strong a government appears, it will always be remembered more for the times it chose peace over pride, unity over politics, and dialogue over division. The former governor said it takes courage to make peace, especially in a country as divided as Nigeria. But he believes President Tinubu has that courage. He said Tinubu has a record of standing up for democracy and justice, and that this is the right moment to prove that leadership is not just about holding power, but using it to unite the nation. Okorocha stressed that peace in the Southeast will mean peace for the entire nation. He said the economic growth of Nigeria depends heavily on stability, and no investor or citizen will feel safe in a country where one region is constantly boiling with anger and resentment. He said Nigeria must learn that unity is not a gift. It is a responsibility that requires fairness and truth. He concluded his message by saying that the release of Nnamdi Kanu will not make the government look weak. Instead, it will make Nigeria stronger because it will show that the government listens to its people. It will show that the president is willing to take bold steps to heal the wounds of the past. As he ended his speech, the weight of his words lingered. His call was clear. It was time to replace tension with understanding and suspicion with dialogue. According to him, a nation that listens grows stronger, and a leader who forgives leads longer. The real question now is whether those in power are ready to take that step and prove that peace truly matters more than politics. Rochas Okorocha's message to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was direct, calm, and deeply thoughtful. He began by saying that he respects the president and believes he understands what it feels like to be misunderstood, judged, and even rejected by the same system he once fought to fix. Okorocha said Tinubu's own political story is one of courage and resilience, and that this is the moment to show that same courage for the sake of unity and peace. He explained that leadership is not tested when things are easy. It is tested when the nation is divided and people expect bold action. According to him, this is that moment for Tinubu. The former governor said that if there is one single act that will write Tinubu's name in history as a unifier and a man of peace, it would be the release of Nnamdi Kanu. He said, "Mr. President, I know you understand what it means to be wrongly accused. You fought for democracy at a time when it wasn't popular to do so. You stood against the old system and survived because you believed in fairness and justice. Now history is giving you another chance to show Nigerians that power in your hands means peace for all, not fear for some." Okorocha continued by explaining that no nation can make progress when part of its population feels alienated. He said the issue of Nnamdi Kanu has gone beyond one man. It now represents a cry for justice from an entire region. He said the longer Kanu remains in detention, the more resentment and anger build up among people who already feel excluded. He made it clear that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is not about weakness or surrender. It is about healing the nation and giving every Nigerian a reason to believe in the government again. He said many people have lost faith in the system and that one simple act of compassion could restore hope across the country. According to Okorocha, Nigeria's strength has never been in uniformity, but in diversity. He said Tinubu's government must take deliberate steps to show that every tribe and region truly belongs to the same national family. He warned that peace cannot be achieved through silence or military operations alone. It can only be achieved when justice is done. He added that the Southeast crisis has deeper roots than many understand. It is not just about politics or agitation. It is about years of neglect, frustration, and the feeling that the voices of millions are not being heard. Okorocha said ignoring those feelings will only make the problem worse. He said no leader in history has ever succeeded by ignoring the pain of his people. Real leadership is about listening, understanding, and responding with empathy. Mr. President, this is not about politics. It is about peace. And peace, once restored, will benefit not only the Southeast, but every Nigerian who wants a better tomorrow. Okorocha said he knows the decision will not be an easy one, because there will be opposition from those who prefer conflict to calm. But he believes Tinubu must rise above politics and take a moral stand. He said great leaders are remembered not for the number of years they spent in power, but for the decisions they took that changed lives and restored peace. He called on Tinubu to remember that Nigeria's democracy was built on dialogue, not force. He said the same way the president once stood firm against oppression, he should now stand firm for reconciliation. He said every Nigerian, regardless of background, should feel like part of the same country, and the release of Nnamdi Kanu would be a major step in that direction. Okorocha also said the president should not fear that releasing Kanu would cause chaos. Instead, it would calm the region and open a fresh path for dialogue. He said when a government listens, even its critics begin to see hope. And when people see hope, they start believing again in the future of their country. He reminded Tinubu that the economy, security, and national stability all depend on peace. No investor will come to a country where conflict continues. He said the Southeast, when stable, is one of the most productive parts of Nigeria, and that peace there means progress for everyone. He ended his message by saying that the moment to act is now. Every day of delay only makes things more difficult. He said the government has the power to change the direction of history, and this is the right time to use that power wisely. In his final words, Okorocha said, "Mr. President, show the world that Nigeria has leaders who choose peace over politics. Show the Igbo people that this government truly believes in unity, not by words but by action. Let this be your legacy, the president who ended years of tension and gave peace a chance." His words were steady, mature, and full of sincerity. He was not speaking as an opponent or a critic, but as a patriot who wants Nigeria to move forward. It was not just a political message. It was a heartfelt call for a new chapter, one where understanding replaces anger and dialogue replaces division. After delivering his message to President Tinubu, Rochas Okorocha turned his attention to a bigger matter, the future of peace and unity in Nigeria. His tone softened, but his words carried firm meaning. He said the country cannot keep moving from one crisis to another while citizens lose trust in the system meant to protect them. He said what Nigeria needs now is healing, not hostility, and that this healing must begin from the southeast. Okorocha described the people of the southeast as hardworking, creative, and peace-loving by nature. But he said years of injustice and exclusion have turned that positive energy into frustration, and that frustration has now grown into anger. He explained that the release of Nnamdi Kanu will not only calm the region, but also send a clear message that the government is ready to rebuild trust and restore confidence. He spoke directly to the youth of the Southeast, urging them to choose peace over violence. He said violence destroys the same land they want to defend. He told them to hold on to hope because peace always brings longer-lasting progress than conflict ever can. According to him, if the government takes the bold step of releasing Nnamdi Kanu, the youth must also take responsibility by embracing dialogue and peace. Okorocha said true leadership is not about talking, but about uniting people who have been divided for too long. He called on leaders from all parts of Nigeria to put aside pride and focus on what truly matters: justice, fairness, and peace. He reminded everyone that Nigeria is not a mistake, but a nation designed to work if guided by sincere leadership. He said no region can grow in isolation, and no group should ever feel unwanted in their own country. He stressed that unity cannot be achieved through force. You cannot command people to love their country. You make them love it by showing fairness, justice, and respect. He said Nigeria does not need more promises or speeches, but real actions that prove every citizen matters equally. He said Nigerians from every region, north, south, east, and west, share the same dream of peace, safety, and equal opportunity. Okorocha called on traditional rulers, religious leaders, and respected elders from the Southeast to lead new dialogue with the federal government. He said this is not a time for blame or competition, but a time to speak with one united voice. He reminded them that the Southeast is full of intelligent and talented people, and with peace, that strength can turn the region into one of Nigeria's most successful zones. He explained that no matter how many roads are built or how many policies are created, none of it will matter without peace. Peace, he said, is the foundation on which every lasting nation stands. Without it, progress will always be temporary. He urged the president to see beyond politics and listen to the cry of ordinary citizens, mothers, fathers, and young people, who just want to live without fear. He said Nigeria's unity is fragile but can still be repaired with honesty, fairness, and forgiveness. Okorocha said it is time for both the government and the people to forgive and move forward together. He said Nigeria has suffered enough and deserves a new beginning based on trust, not tension. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu, he said, will be more than a political act. It will be a national symbol of compassion and maturity. He ended his message by saying that peace cannot be forced. It must be earned through justice and goodwill. When people feel heard, he said, they calm down. When they see fairness, they start trusting again. Nigeria, he warned, cannot afford another generation of young people growing up angry and hopeless. It is time to change the story. Okorocha closed with a powerful message. Peace in the Southeast means peace in Nigeria. When one part of the nation hurts, the whole country feels it. Mr. President, let this be the moment when Nigeria finally chooses peace. Let it be known that under your leadership, justice was restored and unity rebuilt. His words left a clear reminder. Peace is not something to wait for, it is something to build. And according to Okorocha, that peace begins with the release of Nnamdi Kanu in a new era of national reconciliation. It was not a speech of politics, but a message of hope and unity. A call for leadership that places the nation's heart above pride and the people's peace above everything else.